Point to the person. Point to the person that hurt you. She can't. She didn't see.
Oh my god. Oh god.
Yeah, just like Star Trek, I can't see into the darkness.
Now.
That's true. I guess. Listen. I missed this popcorn and pints, and all I was gonna say is, I guess it got real white. I wasn't there. So,
Hey, are we actually streaming Under the Popcorn and Pints to Facebook?
no, because there's some new shit with Facebook. It was saying some bullshit about it's not. I don't fucking know. But we're on Instagram, so.
All I'm gonna say is that for anybody that sees this, I will post the Patreon tomorrow because it's an appropriate Easter episode. It is the most I have laughed in months.
I'm glad for that. That I'm glad for.
Me too. And I haven't seen the episode yet, so I can't wait to fucking see
Sturdy
it.
wasn't there. It was just James, Mick, and myself. And you will not be disappointed.
If there's honestly, if you guys are entertained, I'm happy.
So it's the result of what happens when we go into something with literally no plan whatsoever.
and having watched a movie that Sturdy chose for us.
That I haven't seen, so I could elaborate on other theories that we could build around.
Technically, yes, you could say Sturdy chose the movie, even though it was Henry's pick, but I did introduce him to the movie, so I guess technically it does fall back on me. But that movie was fucking hilarious, and if you don't know what we're talking about, it's Helen Keller versus the Night Wolves, which we reviewed on Sturdovision, which you guys should go check that episode out, but also check that movie out. It's over on YouTube for free, and it's freaking funny.
YouTube. That's right, Chris.
Oh, yeah, that's where I can watch it. I'm watching that shit tomorrow. YouTube.
It is ridiculous. I will say this: if you are people who partake in marijuana legally, if you're 21 and older and it's legal in your state, or alcohol, same rule, 21 and older in your state. But it helps. It enhances. Because there was one person that didn't do either in that episode, and that one person gave it a lower rating than every single one of us did. And he also said that if I had those enhancements, I may have felt completely different about this. And he definitely would have. So that's why I say that, because it puts you just in, and it's one of those movies, like, once you start laughing, you're at least chuckling at something through this whole freaking movie. If you're not laughing,
there's nothing you're not laughing at. No.
Just pull up the poster, because just the poster got me.
And then on top of that, we did this as a watch party. Oh my gosh. And you just have a bunch of immature freaking 30 some odd year olds and up.
You're such an enough. That's us old asses.
Are you the only one that hasn't hit 40 yet?
Me and Paul and Henry.
You old bastard.
You son of a bitch. You yunnin'.
All right.
Oh, man.
Oh, I'm not giving it to him. He's in the old end now. Okay.
I'm in the old end now?
Absorbing you in.
Whoa.
Wow.
Like that.
like shunting.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. By the way, that's another
Come to CFF 2024 Memorial Day weekend. Sturdy and I are going to be there. Shunting.
Yes, we are. No, we're not going to be shunting. We're going to be there. We're going to be talking about shunting, but we're not going to be actually shunting.
Play the shunting.
No, we're not going to do anything about that. Don't listen to him. But look, this is the movie.
I serve at the Cult of Daddy.
Helen Keller versus Night Wolves.
I can't believe this was even a thing, and now it's something I want to watch more than anything I've ever heard of.
I'm going to leave that up.
He even walks in that pose like that.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'll tell you what, though. This did not sell me on the movie. When you showed me this, I was like, it looks like...
Yeah, I thought it was going to be trash.
No. This is a well-crafted, done by professional comedian movie.
If you're gonna make something this obscenely ridiculous, you got to commit.
Yeah,
and you got to do it well.
Oh, they did everything. They committed well.
Everybody did it well. It's so offensive to so many things.
Oh yeah,
you got to go over the top.
It has Blazing Saddles, in my opinion. I would compare this not on the same like Blazing Saddles is.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But as like if you were gonna put like this in a pool of similarity in movies, I would put this closer to Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
over the top of
Ridiculousness.
Yes.
well, offensive jokes.
But not
Shit.
just because it's offensive, but because everything is handled like also like Blazing Saddles, but most of that Mel Brooks type of movies, like History of the World Part 1, like everything is outrageous, you know?
True.
Mm-hmm.
But it's done professionally, like this professional comedian really landing the jokes.
Just like our Patreon episode that was incredibly professional and outrageous.
Yeah, sure. Well,
That you're gonna want to go see when I post
And it's
that.
recorded. We have proof. We created it. If anybody tries to steal our idea.
the greatest.
Now, before we dive into these Star Trek films, the last two of our Star Wars or Star Trek, we do have a fun.
Is this the end? Oh, okay. Is next week the end? Okay.
Next week it's with the the spoof.
Wait, can we do this as a charity script read?
Yes.
The hell,
Yeah.
Keller?
Let's plan it for something after the con.
All right. Yeah.
Later on after the con, give us. I'll say like July-ish.
Let's make it our Halloween one.
Okay. Fuck it, let's do that. Perfect. This is the perfect movie. And guys, this is going to be a trailer you may start seeing a lot because this is something I really want people to watch. This is iconic. This is important. This is something that is life-changing if you watch this movie. But just check the trailer out, all right? Tell your kids to shut the hell up or get the hell out so you can hear this.
Or normally family-friendly episode.
An inmate at Street Justice
No, it's
Films.
not family friendly. Or actually, it's not for kids.
I want to tell you a story about a little girl who lost her eyesight and her
Lynn
hearing
Shay.
during a horrific wolf attack. This girl went on to save her entire town.
What is Helen Keller doing here? She on a blind date?
Simply by using her other senses.
What's Helen Keller's favorite color? I bet it's corduroy.
And a bunch of other cool shit, too.
I think your sister has a gift.
I'm gonna teach her how to read lips.
Diner. Whose vagina?
I can hear you just fine, fuckface.
I can pick up the vibrations of your voice through the glass.
You're a real fucking miracle worker, Rand Sullivan.
They laughed at her lack of hearing and sight.
She's blind!
She will laugh standing over their grave.
Jesus, that's really fucking dark.
Sorry.
Never made love to a black guy before.
Oh, I'm not blind.
Everyone's black now.
From the man who brought you FDR American Badass, Poor Boy Drowning as a Fury, and the first ever best-selling romance novel for dudes, At Night She Cries While He Rides His Steed, St. James Street James.
I just taught myself Braille on tape.
Starring Blythe Moynihan, Darth Granite, Bambi Lightfeather, Peter Portnoy, Maggie Martindale, Ronald Shortloin, Peter Tom Donnell, Legs Diamond, Wilf Hamelback, the Scagnetti Brothers, Denise Shrimpson, Guantanamo, and featuring Van Sant Law.
You have the right to remain silent.
What's the difference between Helen Keller and a normal person that can hear and see? I'm not a fucking pussy.
Keller versus Night Wolves.
Okay, who turned off the lantern in the outhouse and left the plunger in the toilet?
We're even.
God damn it, Helen! Ass buggering, mothering, cunting.
Help us finish the movie by clicking the link below.
So is the movie not finished? I want more.
No, it's finished. That's just an old ass fucking thing.
I'll provide money to the sequel, and I haven't even seen the first one.
I don't want a sequel. I want her to be the leader.
Oh, hold on. That's true. We created an entire universe on the Patreon that you're going to want to go listen.
But they may do a sequel just to kind of get more of that thing in there, and then boom, it's like you dive into the Avengers.
It's not like Helen Keller would ever see it coming.
You got to have the stinger at the end where Geppetto shows up. Oh, you will get there, people. We'll get there.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what the fuck you crazy sons of bitches were talking about.
We go deep.
I almost want to make it free just to show people.
No,
You do not do that.
no, you can't.
That's I know. I'm tempted.
So what you do is you make a couple clips. Maybe have Mick check them out.
It's presented by a Mick Velvet production.
Mick Velvet production.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
I'm gonna send it right to the filmmakers. Be like, can we join your team? Can we make this happen somehow?
Can't be a high bar.
Oh man, I love it. Because then you put some stars in those movies, man.
Hell yeah.
I love it. Anyway,
But,
we're supposed to start touch.
Boom. It's right here.
Star Trek.
Yep.
Trek Wars.
It's Trek Wars. It's Trek Wars this week. Star Wars is over.
Star Wars is
Star
all
Wars
done.
is all done. It's finished, finito.
I kind of don't want to give my ratings till the end because I don't know if you'll know which one. You guys want to place bets on which one you think my favorite is?
Of these two?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm going Into Darkness.
Me too.
Okay. And then, okay. What you got, Stir?
I'm just to be different. I'll say Beyond.
Okay. Let's get into it. Now I shall reveal with my
Which
rating.
one made you cry?
Oh, we also got.
Which one made me cry?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Neither of these made me cry.
No.
Okay. I was gonna say because that
So-
would help with my rating.
We also got to.
My guess.
We also got to decide at the end if you are a Trekkie or Star Wars.
You know, it's funny.
I'm both, baby. I'll always be both, babe.
I was thinking. Listen. I think we can answer this now, and I have my answer already. I was thinking about this earlier, right? And I'm thinking about like, if I was to go back and watch these movies again, which ones would I actually rewatch?
Yep.
Oh, Star Trek.
About it, right? Star Wars, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Easily.
If I'm picking an entire franchise based on the body of work in front of me between the two, I'm going Star Wars. If there was a franchise based on the newest 3 Star Trek movies, then it's more of a discussion for me because I've enjoyed these movies with Chris Pine and the new crew more than.
May I present to you the current track? All right, hear me out. Everything they're putting out in Trek-wise, I think you're going to love. If you love these movies, Akiva Goldsman is running everything now, but there were some missteps in the beginning, but everything's evening out. And the shows, like I told you, Picard is probably the best season of Trek ever. Season 3, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guys, if you like this Trek, just pick up on new Trek right now. Watch Discovery.
Yeah, I plan on
Worlds.
Yeah.
It's a different time of writing. It's a different time of filmmaking. It's a different time of television. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. Writing it in different ways. They are not relying on shit that's already been out there and trying to continue from that. That's what I think that's one of the reasons I got drawn into these new ones with Chris Pine. Like they were able to establish the characters from a new perspective for me that wasn't born out of a show that's been running for however many years.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a show, I know it's not like these, but a show kind of that is very similar to Next Generation, the TV series. But up to date like these, check and Seth MacFarlane, which works too.
Yeah, that's supposed to be good.
One of the best shows I've ever watched.
I watched season 1 and it was great.
Yeah.
What'd you say it was called, Nick?
The Orville.
The Orville?
It's like 4 seasons. It's one of the best shows I've ever watched.
It's like Star Trek with comedy.
It's MacFarlane, the Star Trek type environment because he has his love for Star Trek and stuff.
No. It's Trek.
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh, it's Trek. I'm just saying there's comedy.
There's comedy to it, but it's not silly.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not like normal Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, it's not like.
Don't get me wrong. I love it. I love Seth MacFarlane's silly stuff, but like that was so much homage to Next Generation and his love for Trek.
Yeah, me and the wife plan on watching some shows. We wanted, like you suggested, Picard. So we're probably going to check that out first. We're probably going to watch that first.
I'm going to do that.
For you.
I was just talking to my wife earlier as we were watching these movies because she loves these movies too. That I was like, I want to start watching Next Generation again. She's like, we should start doing that, but maybe I'll start with the newer ones instead.
You know what I would start with? If you really want to start from the beginning and expand out. Now, if you want to watch just Picard, you can.
Not like I don't want to go super far, like Next Generation, because I love.
I'm gonna watch just Picard.
Oh no, I meant new stuff. I just meant new stuff.
Oh, okay. So what's the
what's
the new ones?
I'd say if you want to start somewhere to
Mhm.
kind of get in, start with Discovery.
Okay.
Start there because that kind of was the opener into this new universe again. And Michael Burnham, Sonequa Martin Green plays Michael Burnham, who is Spock's half sister.
Ooh.
And there's a reason you've never heard of her before, and that's what I'm going to say. And it's a cool reason, but that's where Strange New Worlds comes into play. This other Pike takes over, and that's all about Pike before you got to what do you call it, Kirk?
Interesting.
All right.
So
I'm gonna ask you to
stop
do me a
where you
huge
want.
favor, then, Mythical Mick, and that is, can you please just send me a list of just in order of just with the newer shows in order of like what I should start with and all that, please, when you get a good chance, good sir.
Well, I will answer you, Daddy. I'll answer you in one way. That's the last time I'm going to do it tonight. I'll answer you only way I can in cheap self promotion for my podcast of Warp Factor Fiction. Yes, I'll absolutely give you the list that I'm using because on our show, my son and I are rewatching all of Star Trek in chronological order.
Yes, they are.
We're having a really good time. We did not put out we put out an episode a month or maybe 2 episodes a month sometimes. We missed last month because he is away right now. So you're going to get 2 episodes next month. So it's going to be
nice.
But
now that's
fucking we'll give you a list.
What do you have? Are you guys going to do another show once you guys are done with the whole Star Trek series?
We've discussed it. Depending where he's at, because like we figure by the time we're done with this, he's gonna probably be around 13, maybe 14. So, and if he still wants to continue and we're having fun, we watch so much other stuff. We might want to redo the Godzilla we talked about, or
that'd be awesome.
He actually talked about maybe watching some of the sci-fi movies and just kind of doing those, or we're big Doctor Who fans. So yeah, I mean, we could kind of redo a lot of this stuff.
Hope that happens.
Yeah.
I did tell him I'm not doing Star Wars. That's the one I was like, there's too much that I can't revisit.
You know how do you know how that would change? Is if both your sons really wanted to do it.
Oh no, he was fine with it. He was like, no, I get it. And he was like,
no. But I'm saying if they were like, Dad, can we please all go through Star Wars, watch them, and review them together? You're not going to say no. Look at him. He already knows. He's just thinking some nice dad shit he could say to like turn them down, but he's like, fuck it. I can't say no to both of them just looking at me with them looking at me like I'm their hero, like I'm their Superman.
Stop it. Can we talk Star Trek?
It's only been almost 20 minutes.
So I guess it's my turn. So I'm a Trekkie. I lean more towards, like, don't get me wrong, I like both. I just enjoy the Star Trek side much more.
I agree.
Even the older stuff. But the newer stuff, like with Chris Pine, these are
phenomenal.
Good. They're fucking good.
And for me, like I'm just going by the movies because we're doing this whole versus shit. And like I said, for Star Wars, it's 3, 4, 5, and 6. For this, it's the first. It's these new 3, and then part 2 from the original. So it's 4 and 4 for both.
No First Contact.
I like it, but it's not there to like. I would go back and watch it again.
Okay.
Wrath of Khan was my shit, and I love how there wasn't there another Khan in this one too in part 2?
Into Darkness.
Into Darkness.
I love how that was brought.
That's my favorite part of Into Darkness. It's a legitimate mirror of Wrath of Khan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I loved that show.
It fucking works, and it's great.
And I love that it all sets off like so. Everything from what happened in the past, from Spock and then Nemo coming and changing the past all rippled everything for Khan to be found earlier. So like, and it just like this, I thought it was a really well told story, like, and just I just really well done.
I liked how they did the switch too, instead of Spock in the chamber.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
I mean, it was listen.
No, the Spock one was
not the
better.
same effect.
It's not the same effect. No, with Spock in there, it meant way more.
No, but
agree,
it's not like they could do something like that again. And the way they handled it, I think, was brilliant because you're paying homage to, your past.
Yeah.
But this is an alternate universe, which they already established in the previous one by bringing back, the original Leonard Nimoy. And now you're replaying events in a different way while still maintaining a whole new universe. And to watch the parallels play out in like a natural way is what I think made this movie great.
Yeah. So
one thing that still bothers me: can they please stop blowing up the Enterprise in every fucking movie? God damn it! It's so cool looking. I'm like, why you keep blowing it up?
Because you got to get to the A.
You gotta get to the new one. You gotta get to the better one.
They're contractually obligated to show it being built every scene or every movie. That's what it is.
Oh man!
And another little thing, I think we mentioned it in previous ones too. I am kind of getting sick of the little cut scenes where they switch scenes. It's so noticeable. It's like that. It's like you're watching a sitcom. It's like cut. You know how you cut right to the next scene? Like it's like really quick, but.
See, that annoyed me more with Star Wars. It was like a fucking PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah,
every time
that's what I mean. That feeling, yeah. They did that a lot in this one.
I know what you're talking about, and I noticed it more in Star Wars than I did in Star Trek. The real star of the Star Trek movies is the lens flare. That's the real star of these movies.
I will argue that in the third one because JJ wasn't there.
Because JJ wasn't there. That's fair.
But no, this storyline was awesome. Fucking the Khan shit was off how all his people were inside the torpedoes. And everything, it was just fucking, it was cool. And he was like, they're like, how the hell is he just took out a whole squad of Klingon by himself, basically. Khan was fucking people up.
Well, that was a good representation of what Khan actually was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like the perfect specimen of a human being. Like he can take everybody down. And that's why that you were supposed to be so afraid of genetically altered humans, and it was outlawed. You weren't supposed to do it, and it's covered. And that's the beautiful thing about the shows and how they talk about the eugenics wars. And it's only lightly talked about. It's not like they really get in depth, but you can look it up and research some stuff. But it's very cool how, like, even when you find people now, like they've touched down on it, like during the shows, like in DS9 and stuff like that, how it's handled is like very severe. And I think this movie was a great illustration during that, where he's kicking all the Klingons' asses everywhere. And you're just like, yeah, Ricardo Montalban in a chest plate was cool. And I love that movie, but this is what we needed from Khan. Like,
yeah.
You know,
that one admiral said, he was like, imagine 72 of him. They were all awake. So he had that kind of point, like, to kill them all, but he's going in the wrong way. He was trying to start a war and shit, the Klingons.
Yeah.
He's trying to kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
But as top of enjoying Benedict Cumberbatch in most of the things I see him in.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I like him.
He does a great job in this.
He does. There was a little bit of weirdness at first for me to get into him being Khan, of course, after having watched The Wrath of Khan and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of an adjustment.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I'm trying to remind myself this is a whole different story, alternate reality type thing, and it worked because he played it great. Kicking the Klingons' ass. Chris Pine. Well, of course, he sets up this detonation to blow up a random Federation building just so the Federation will gather their captains and first officers so he can try to murder them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, take them all out at once.
Like, it's a well thought out storyline.
And it's funny is how Kirk had the same thought process and he figured it out.
Yeah, he figured. Yeah.
There.
Well, and honestly, that's something I love about this too, and what I really appreciate about JJ, and to kind of take it back to Force Awakens and what he did there. I think JJ Abrams cares a lot about both franchises, but he's a fucking Trekkie, and he respects this because showing that and showing and of course JJ overseeing all this and everything and I really think that was a great representation of what we were always supposed to know about Kirk. Kirk is always supposed to be a brilliant strategist. Like, look at it and figure something out. Like, does he supposed to be a man of action at the moment, or is he supposed to talk his way out? Is he supposed to, like, it's like that he always figures his way out. He's always sniffed something out, like he knows something's up. Even Spock is sometimes in awe of it, right? And that is why that scene was so integral. It's like, why is this? Like, he has that itch, that intuition, of like, and that was a great representation of Kirk.
Yeah, he's like, something's off. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're doing a fourth one, and I can't wait.
Well, they've been trying to do a fourth one for a while.
No, they've announced it. It's being written. It's confirmed.
How much of the original cast is coming back?
I guess they want to finish it off with all of them. So
listen, I'm watching this, and first off, I still struggle to believe how much Bones and the boys Carl Urban is the same person.
I know, he looks totally different.
I'm like, I can't, like, I'm watching him in this role, and listen, it's just fucking, he's fucking fantastic.
It's funny you fucking say that. Every time you mention it, I laugh and I'm chuckling to myself. Like, I don't even see him as.
No, I can't. It's so opposite.
He was Dread. He was like, how many things was he been where he's just his character? That's when he was in Thor, when he was that guy was in Thor, where he was just kind of like that weird.
I don't remember him in Thor, but
no, but he's going to be Johnny Cage in the new Mortal Kombat sequel that's coming out.
Freaking love it.
And I'm like, listen, that is the fucking, I don't know how much more of a hallmark you need as an actor where you're that character in that situation. And it doesn't necessarily define you, but you're watching the body of work and you're like, he's fucking great in this role. And I can't, it's so hard to think, I can't believe that's the same guy and he's great in both.
No.
But I think my favorite character is Scotty.
Scotty's awesome.
In this trilogy.
He's fucking cool as shit.
Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
When he straight up quits on him, he's like, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I love it. He's the man of honor.
He is. Yeah. And just his alien sidekick.
Yeah.
That's
I forgot his name.
I don't even know his name.
I can't think of his name at the moment.
But
he was an addition for these.
Yeah, and it's like a minor sidekick character, but they built that into the story that he's with him or making jokes. He's always happy to see him and stuff like that. And that's fucking great.
Yeah.
But
he deserves that. I feel like Scotty would have had a sidekick like engineer with him that like just was like a little alien like that. Like that was a good addition.
And what was funny about when he quit too is when Scotty turned in his tablet and the thing turned in its tablet and walked out too.
That's his boy. He's like, no.
He's like, I roll with him. Yeah.
But I respect it. I respect it.
That's why Star Trek is, and that's what I love about this too. That's another great representation. Like, so everything being changed and kind of being off, even like Spock shifted at that point, you know, when the whole transition. So he grew up more so on the human with human intuition than the logic.
Yeah.
In this Yeah, in this franchise, this particular part of it.
Mhm.
And I feel like that was all because of disruption and everything, time disruption. So so to me, like him being up there and not questioning it and being pissed and being part of it, and like that was a part of the change. But like Kirk didn't change. He just didn't have his right hand man to say, that's not logical, Captain. We shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Which was always what he needed, was Spock and Bones to keep his human side and to keep his, that logical side to help him keep him straight, so I love the addition of Scotty being that barometer for him.
Yeah.
Just the chemistry in the cast is fantastic in these movies. But Mick, you bring up an interesting point, because I was going to ask this. There's a lot of development in Spock's personality in this movie, because he's having a hard time. Like, this movie starts out with them trying to save an ancient civilization from the volcano exploding. And Spock, without thinking, is willing to risk his life to stop the volcano from erupting and destroying the civilization. I can't even... What's Zoe Saldana's character's name in this movie? Because I don't even know. Or
Gorgeous?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just as well. And she's upset with Spock because she thinks he didn't give her two thoughts about sacrificing himself, because and that he doesn't care about her and stuff like that. And then he has this little monologue while the three of them with Chris Pine are going down to the planet there, talking about, he's like, the only time I've experienced that kind of feeling before is when he watched Vulcan die in the previous movie, and he made a mental choice not to experience that again. And then Chris Pine dies essentially at the end because of Khan and stuff, like the radiation, and him yelling Khan as opposed to fucking Kirk in the original movies. That was great. And then he unloads on Khan, just fucking fist pounding him at the end. And like, it's great to see, but I'm also curious, are we towing the line between too much human emotion for Spock and wanting to see that human emotion?
I think I say no. I think it was done well, and I think it was done to kind of stand out from every other Star Trek movie. To where it's just, let's make it out.
Take away the essence of Spock, though.
Yes, again, yes and no, because who's to say he can't go back to that logical sense? He just had a human moment, because again, he's around humans. As far as I know, from what I've seen from the shows, just from what I can remember, I've never seen Spock just in a relationship, let alone showing a human side, really. So that alone kind of has to loosen him up somewhat, getting some of that pink.
The whole Spock thing was part of his character. It's kind of like Data thing. Data wanted to be human. So Spock's whole thing was the logic shit.
But the thing is Spock is half human. He is half human.
No, I know. I understand that, but...
Yeah, but they take it to a new level in these movies. Of him reaching that human side.
He's about to nerd out.
He is.
He is. You can see he's holding it back. Yep. But they take Spock to a new level in these movies of him hitting that human side more than they did previously.
The only thing I want to ask you, Mick, is before you nerd out, where is your other hand? Okay, go ahead.
Holding a picture of Helen Keller.
What do you think I'm doing? I'm definitely not touching myself to any of your wrong theories.
We're all wrong.
I didn't have a theory. I asked a question.
That's true. You did.
I don't remember what I said. I'm just being honest.
I love it. Okay. So remember, this is a different alternate timeline. So this Spock was disrupted. Like his upbringing was disrupted. So he had more, he was more in tune with his human side. Than with,
as opposed to Leonard Nimoy from the
the Leonard Nimoy, the old, the correct timeline. They call it the Kelvin timeline because that's when they come in contact with the Kelvin and kind of screw that up.
And the time travel in Wales.
Yeah, in the whale timeline.
The whale timeline. This is what I call it.
The whale timeline here.
Part 3?
In the whale timeline.
Motherfucking Star Trek 4.
4? It was 4?
It was 4.
Yeah, that was Star Trek 4. Voyage home. So in the whale timeline, right? He had the upbringing. He was Jesus. We always have a hashtag on the show. So
hashtag whale timeline.
It's our thing.
He had.
He
had the proper upbringing into
Killer was in that timeline.
The Vulcan ways, and he was much more logical. And through working with his friends like Captain Pike, under Captain Pike, and with Captain Kirk, and having those friendships, he embraced his human side more. So that's why it was slowly over that time you saw it like come out. Here, because it was so disrupted, he always had that sort of like touch. There was always hostilities and things that were always racing through him. And he was also dating, he was dating Uhura and all this other stuff. It threw him off. So yeah, he's like rampage ready to go. And when a Vulcan lose, they don't not have feelings. They have feelings. So there's all emotions in there. They just have learned how to suppress them.
Mm-hmm.
This Spock never learned how to fully suppress all of them. So, and when a Vulcan cannot suppress his feelings, he feels his feelings. And you saw that in this movie.
Yeah, 100%. Like I liked it. I think Zachary Quinto did an awesome job as Spock.
Yeah.
Like you have that kind of legacy that's been laid down from Leonard Nimoy, and for him to come in and play it the way he did, I think was fantastic. It was set up great. It was written well, and it was acted well.
Yeah,
I have zero complaints about the cast for this movie. For these movies, I should say.
Yeah, exactly. With Spock here, I think. What's the biggest character you're taking a chance on in these movies compared to the originals? Is it Kirk or Spock?
It's probably Spock, right?
Would it be about even though?
What do you mean taking a chance on?
If you're going to deviate to an alternate timeline with an entirely new actor, kind of new stories.
Well, they did it perfectly because what they did was they only alternated Spock. Well, that's not true. They alternated Kirk quite a bit too. He lost his father, and he did
different upbringing.
Yeah. So there's a different upbringing. He was more like abrasive and stuff when he came in. So there's a lot different there too. He was a lot more hostile.
So Spock's probably the most notable then, because you see more of Spock's upbringing in the original, or just the history of Vulcan.
Well, and the nice part about it was you were grounded by the fact that Spock, our Leonard Nimoy, was in this universe.
Yeah.
So you were like, okay, we have the comfort of Spock still, knowing Spock still is out there, even if these movies continue on.
Yep.
So like they did a really good job by bringing him in. That was an important factor in this.
They did, because that explains the alternate reality, and the way they brought him in, just the fucking. Well, I've watched this early in the week, so I lose memory on some of the details. The way Nero brought him in to get a vendetta against the original Spock, and watch him blow up Vulcan and everything like that. Like, that is a fucking heartbreaking story. Just
That's
because
like
of
Nero.
time travel. Nero.
I was saying,
like,
so I was saying Nemo. I was reading something about
Finding Nemo
the other day.
Like even the villain. We haven't even really talked about the Nero, the villain. Just trying to take out his vendetta.
One, right? Did we talk? Why wasn't here last week?
Was that the first one?
Yeah,
that was the villain of this one.
The villain of this one was Khan.
Oh, that's right.
The Admiral.
Fucking drunk. Helen Keller on the brain.
Oh my god. Nope.
Helen Keller on the brain.
I almost a joke came out. A joke was like right here. I felt it hitting the back of my teeth, and I was like, nope. And I
save that for the Patreon.
No, but that's right. They do have the one scene with Ambassador Spock. So Spock has that's right, because he asked him how he deals with Khan. He asked him the history of Khan.
How did you beat him?
The most ruthless villain the original cast had ever gone up against.
No.
Yep. Smarter, stronger.
I liked, but they he was there. It was a great job the way they were able to bring him in and not have it overshadow any of the new cast or story,
Yeah,
so that you
I
can
agree
keep
with that.
that connection.
Keep in mind too, Spock did have to Hulk out. He did have to let his emotions rage to be able to match Khan's strength.
Yeah,
exactly.
That is
So
true.
it looked like he was killing them, but no, that
And
was
he
a regular
still
fight now.
He still didn't match his strength. Remember, he had
No,
to
he
use
didn't.
that thing to hit him, knock him around.
Yeah.
So like there was like method to the madness too. I don't want anybody to think like no.
And
He
the thing is, Khan is
was
like Wolverine. He heals fast too, doesn't he? His cells heal fast.
they
Yeah.
regenerate.
Yeah, that's why they froze him.
Cut this bullshit out. You're frozen now.
Yeah.
That one, I mean, I don't know what you do there. That's a big problem. You just had a huge freaking problem with one of them.
One. So
One.
part of me feels like
72 would be
you
terrible.
start thinking like he does have a point. Should you kill them all? But then the humanity part, you're like, you can't just kill innocent people like that.
No.
Right? You know,
you could sure as shit just be like, hey, Klingons, you take care of these.
Yeah, can you take care of this for me? I'll pay you.
Yeah.
Put a hit on them.
I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of governments in this whole world that somehow have made that deal before.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Yo, listen. Listen, Klingons, listen. These guys are the ones that this one dude, he just took all your guys out. Remember that what happened a few days
And
ago?
these are his people.
There's
Imagine all of them.
72 of these motherfuckers. 73 actually, including him.
Yeah,
There's 73 of these motherfuckers. They're frozen. Do what the fuck you want with them. I say you should destroy them, but you know it's up to you.
No, that is ruthless though. He was going. The admiral was going to kill Khan by shooting his own people at him.
But there's no way I believe. There's no way I believe that there was like one bad admiral in Starfleet.
No.
There's no way that thing was built.
I'll be right back.
Because of one dude, right? So there has to be other guys or women or whoever, admirals in charge, who can take those and make that choice. Like, let's launch them into the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Why did he launch him in the sun?
James, we're on a different plane right now. I'm like, who's diabolical enough to make this happen? And you're just like, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
There you go. James would be like,
and I want to do them all at the same time. I'll do one at a time so I can watch.
Yes, RoboCop. And I was looking at him in the movie. I was like, he's from RoboCop. I didn't realize it was RoboCop. I'd seen the freckles.
Oh my God. Have you ever seen that video of who the fuck is Randy and I don't know about his cookies? It was like on a documentary about RoboCop. I kind of want to find it and show it to you guys.
It's talking about Randy's cookies. What?
By the way, Smash DTM. Listen, my friend, Master Shake,
Daddy Time, Master Shake. Fuck.
That's not what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say is, I highly, 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 highly recommend you check out. Have a few drinks before you watch this movie.
Oh my God, do it.
Helen Keller versus the Night Wolves. You will have a fantastic time with it. I know your sense of humor, Dan. Trust me. We did a watch party for it last night, and
He's gonna hate it. Who's your daddy, and what does he do? He's a podcaster. He's a hard podcaster.
Well, my father, he used to drive a bus. He's retired now. He's chilling. Probably sleep. I'm assuming it's maybe not. It's only 9:45.
Oh shit! It's not. And we haven't even gotten a second movie.
No.
I thought we were
this one yet.
I thought we were blending them in.
Are we rating them both at the end?
By the way, I briefly mentioned the casting in this movie. I enjoyed all the original Star Trek. Benedict Cumberbatch was fantastic, I thought, in this role. Just the fucking Kirk and Khan relationship throughout this movie. Like, we enjoyed the way they interacted in the original Wrath of Khan. Chris Pine and Benedict Cumberbatch as Kirk and Khan in this are, I think, just as great as a match too.
It's when they talk, it's like they're like playing chess with each other.
Yeah. Like I
Can I
said,
share-
the fucking casting in these movies has been
Yeah,
great, and just the
it's good.
chemistry.
I was shocked because I only seen like clips of the first movie of the newer Chris Pine ones,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh, they made new ones. I was like, oh, they're gonna fuck up. They're gonna fuck them up. I was like,
No,
oh,
they're
here
gonna
we
make it.
go.
They're gonna keep making movies as long as they make money.
Yeah, but I watched these. I was like, oh my god, these are fucking awesome. They're doing
Yeah.
a really good job with these movies.
And you know what's crazy about that, like watching these, and what's so awesome about these and so disappointing about Star Wars is, I feel, in my opinion, I feel like Star Trek improved in my opinion, from these 3 movies and all the other ones, with the exception of Wrath of Khan. And I feel like in Star Wars, if you go with just the original 3, they just fell hard. Like, how, and it's like you had this awesome source material. How do you fuck up so bad? I guess that makes Star Trek better overall, even though movie wise I had them even with the 4 that I choose. But Star Trek's better overall just because they improved, like, from the past till now. In my opinion, I feel they improved just movie wise. Show wise, I have no clue, because you'd have to go over there and watch. Go check out the Scene Snobs, Warp Factor Fiction. They can fill you in on that.
But I'm not familiar with the world. There's more Star Wars fans than Trekkies out there, right? Like Star Wars is more popular, you think?
I'd say it's pretty. I mean, that's the thing, though. It's not like you're one or the other. Like, I love both. So
No, I say they're both good too. But I'm saying if I had to watch, like, I lean right towards Star Trek. I'll go right to Star Trek and play those.
I think it's just a preference thing. Like, because I mean, there are times I like, yeah, I don't. Am I really interested in seeing too much from Star Wars right now? No, but that doesn't mean there's not stuff that I am not enjoying. And, I'm cool with that. So, and also, like, I'll check out the new movies that come out with, but I'm just at a point with them where it's like, if it's not good, it's not good. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek, I'm not really worried, to tell you the truth. They're probably going to be pretty good. Or even because even like Nemesis, which isn't that good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still better than Rise
True.
of Skywalker.
True.
So
I didn't mind Nemesis,
watch it,
actually.
I
didn't mind it.
I think also the
think I gave it a
franchises.
6.
Well, the franchises were handled in different ways. You have the original Star Trek movies. That started with Kirk in the original cast. Then you have a new set of movies with Picard, and then this new set of movies with Chris Pine and the crew.
Mm-hmm.
They were all filmed together, almost just like in order. Essentially, you're not starting. It's not like you started Star Trek with the Picard years and then went to Kirk, and then forwarded to Chris Pine and stuff like that.
That's true too.
So I feel like the Star Trek movies just evolved essentially with writing and movie making in general. That's why they got better and better as they went along.
So do you think that Star Wars took the tougher route? And I mean this as far as, instead of trying to make sequels, going with prequels, and then making sequels to these prequels.
I don't think it's just that.
And then making sequels after you make all these damn prequels, and then you make sequels, and it's just like you're all over the place. Versus Star Trek, they just kept okay, this generation's done, so let's go to another one. Let's go to a newer one. Each however many years, I don't know how many years they do it, but you know what I mean.
Only one other franchise that I can think of. Not saying that others haven't tried and there hasn't been close or this, that, or the other. There's only one other franchise that has come as close to successfully keeping a franchise on track the way it is to Star Trek, and that's Marvel.
That's fair.
And just meaning it in a way that's like, even things that failed in the Star Trek world didn't take out Star Trek. Mm-hmm. Roddenberry had rules, and he had disciples, and those disciples carried out those rules after he died. And, yes, did things lighten up? Of course, but Like it wasn't always like you had to stringently like follow these rules. Sometimes they like bent a little bit and like it kind of restructured, but it was always done with the same like Star Trek has a vision and that's where we're going to go with it, and this is what it was always supposed to be, and that's the line. That's just the line. So like this universe,
Star Wars didn't have that.
Yeah,
no, they definitely don't.
When I think of Star Trek and Star Wars, for me, right, Star Trek is what I love to watch as hopeful. Like I would love to live in a world like this, right? And I watch Star Wars as almost like why I read books, historical books, or even fairy tales and stuff like that. Like all of those like old stories and things like, because it's interesting, because it's interesting tales. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're amazing tales. So that's what those two differences are with me. Like I put Star Wars on the same realm as like a Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
So
okay. But yeah, I think this is more for you, Mick, as you remember these movies.
He's not wrong. I mean, but 7 seasons each, 25 episodes a season.
You're gonna have a downer.
Have some downer.
Yeah, that's true.
Hell yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's not. That's not just.
I used to watch Deep Space Nine, and I enjoyed a lot of the episodes. I didn't mind it. I think I watched. I didn't see every season. I'm not saying. I don't think I did, but I didn't mind Deep Space Nine.
No, I liked it.
I was watching it.
You know who thought she was in space all the time?
Helen Keller. Yeah, I heard she flew a rocket.
Oh my god!
There they go again.
No, don't go again. Just go watch the fucking Patreon.
You got to watch the Patreon, guys. Save it for the Patreon.
Any more on Into the Darkness, or should we move on to Beyond?
Let's go to Beyond.
Let's go to Beyond. Remember, if you're going into darkness, ask permission first.
Same with the Beyond, I guess. But
oh my god.
Let's get Beyond, guys. Let's get
Beyond.
Beyond.
Can I tell you? Can I say something? One more thing about Into Darkness. As a Star Trek fan, when the trailers were coming out for it, they showed the Enterprise crashing into Earth.
Yep,
with that wave over it. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "I knew they were gonna have to bring the A in at some point, but like, you're gonna crash it already? Jesus, come on!" And then when I realized it was the other ship, I was like, super happy.
Never mind. I take that back.
I'll tell you, man, they fucking destroy every ship. Like,
well, the one thing I've learned about Star Trek movies, and even early on, is like every time a new movie starts, I'm like, all right, who's the fucker in the Federation that's the turncoat? Like, I'm waiting for a turncoat in every movie.
True, because usually, yeah, exactly.
So it's
as much as you see that in movies, especially like movies back in the day, that still doesn't bother me. It all depends on how they reveal, how the reveal is, and like how it goes after that. But if that reveals like that reveal to where it's like one of those characters you almost forget, like it's it's an important character, but you almost forget they're in the movie, and you're just like, oh shit.
I am doing a disservice to this though, because there are things I don't like about this movie. And I'm starting to get a little more clear-headed because goddamn Helen Keller jokes. I start laughing and my brain is just like I'm all fuzzy. So no, listen, this movie, I do have problems with In the Darkness too. One, the way Pike goes out. I understand it's the catalyst for everything. It's just. And I understand it's the mirror universe. Like, of course, now Kirk is the one seeking revenge for a loved one's death, while Khan is the one, it's trying to save his family and blah, blah, blah. I get it, but Pike is a pretty deep character.
He could have went out better, is what you're saying, basically.
I just felt like he deserved better. But you know what? I feel like that might have been heard. I've heard that as like a pretty popular, feeling amongst fans. And Anson Mount as Pike, pretty goddamn awesome. So I'm gonna shut up.
I did enjoy Pike as Chris Pine's mentor. Yes.
Yeah.
then you are going to love Anson Mount as Pike on Strange New Worlds.
Oh shit!
And there's no way you're not gonna, because he is in Discovery season 2. So
there you go again.
So you get, it's really well done. That's why I love Star Trek and what they've built.
Oh, really quick, by the way, that Admiral's fucking ship, that thing was a fucking monster.
I love that
call it?
shit.
Dreadnought? What they call it? A Dreadnought or something?
Yeah,
that shit was badass. That shit was
holy
awesome.
fuck! It made the Enterprise look like a fucking.
Hold on, yeah. The way they even blew up that ship to get to Khan, they pulled out his people and sent the and let him teleport the armed torpedoes in there because of Spock's plan. Like, that was fucking. I loved that plan. That was great.
Yeah.
And then they blew up after Khan teleported them to the ship. That was fantastic. I really enjoyed how they brought that down.
Still scary as shit that all of them are out of their captivity.
They are all there.
Yeah, they're still there.
Even Khan's back in just a frozen state. He still exists.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Which is another thing I didn't love about that ending. Which I'm not saying like we should have killed Knight, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a fine line, and I hate little tie-ups like that. Like that's why I feel like in the original movie it was all sealed up really well.
Yes,
right? Like Khan was gone. You know, like he died on his own. His people died. You know, like it just like that's why this was just they tried to tie Space Seed and everything together. So that was another thing that bugs me about this. Like, again, the characters, everybody else, they were all fantastic. Also, this thing catching up with them in warp.
Oh yeah,
because the ship is so advanced.
It's all right.
They're having a fucking they're having a laser battle, shooting torpedoes in warp drive.
It's a little like, come on. I mean,
it's a little silly, but honestly, that didn't even bother me too much.
As a Star Trek fan, it bothered me.
I get it. As a deep fan of it.
Do you understand?
It caught up to the Enterprise the way Helen Keller flying a plane.
No, don't you do that. God damn it.
So it's crazy how, because warp drive, they're going so fast, right?
Just like Helen Keller.
Get knocked out of warp drive, you think the ship will crumble. It'll just like rip the ship apart. You can't just get knocked out of warp drive and just like start floating like it's nothing.
It's like Helen Keller with her plate.
She stares at too much, it cracks in half. You broke the plate.
It's a fucking theory. That's the only thing I'm saying. I didn't say it was real. I said it was a theory. Anything can be a hypothesis. Any of the pencils can stick in the ceiling. That's the terrible analogy. Let's move on to Beyond.
Beyond.
I distracted Mick enough to move on.
So Beyond
was the goal.
Beyond is kind of like a mixture of another old episode, wasn't it?
No, it's just an away missing. It kind
of. I'm talking about with the villain. He's from the past, kind of, but he lived all like 300 years by sucking energy, like the life force out of fucking people.
He's
like from the past. Though. I'm saying he's come from the past. It's kind of like, what's his face? Yeah, Nemo and shit. Yeah,
he was part of the
Nero.
So
Nero, that's it. You got Nemo in my stuck in my head now, motherfucker.
Just like Helen Keller stuck in your head.
I mean, Disney owns everything. Disney owns everything anyway. So
Helen Keller.
So they had this repeat of like kind of like Nero thing, kind of, because he's from the past, like 300 years or whatever the fuck they said he was from.
Mm-hmm.
James, do you want me to explain it to you?
Yes, thank you. I need
the simple explanation is Idris Elba is timeless. But
I need the Trekkie to understand this. Yes.
So, what exactly do you want to know? You just keep saying.
Mick's just here to explain the movies.
I'm just saying how they're taking like pieces. It reminds me of older movies that we watched already. I'm saying it's like they're taking parts of other movies.
Yes, no, absolutely, and it does have that feel, and that's what I love about it. Simon Pegg actually helped write this one.
He did.
But so there is a connection to the Enterprise television show to this.
Okay.
So they were all a part of the Makos, which were the Marine unit, the militarized unit during Enterprise days, in the early days of Starfleet. So when Starfleet was strictly became like about exploration and not militarized, that's what they were saying. Like they just made these. They were just like, here's a ship, go explore. And you have all these military people who have been fighting wars against Klingons and stuff, and other things, and they're just like, "What do you want me to do here?" Like this is them. They got trapped on a planet, and for years and years and years, so it's maybe about 100 years or so they've been there, and that's basically what this was. That's the only kind of transference into. There was no like time travel or anything.
Okay.
No whales.
No, this is the not Wales timeline.
The better timeline.
Oh, that chick was pretty badass, though. I like how she had that fucking clone technology.
Dude, yeah, I enjoyed the Jayla character. I enjoyed her makeup, her costume, everything about her.
Playing the radio. Good song choices.
Oh my god, dude. Sabotage.
Sabotage. Them putting on Beastie Boys Sabotage as they were going through the hive, destroying ships. Like that was my favorite scene of the movie. Like it was done so well.
Oh, when they're like send them the signal to Blue It, and it's the whale, and they're like, whoa,
yeah,
and they all blow up, and they're flying through the fire. Oh, yeah,
that's
so cool.
That was like, I wish I had seen that in the theater on a giant fucking screen.
This gave me everything I wanted from this Star Trek. It gave me all the interactions I wanted. I love Kirk and Scotty together. And then you're throwing Chekhov in there. That right there is a great away mission team.
This is the one where I wrote down Scotty was my favorite character. I thought I wrote it down in the last one. That was on my notes for this one.
Yeah, he was more in this one with Kirk. Yeah, sorry.
Because I forgot about it because he quits in the second one, and then he shows up on the Dreadnought to save the Enterprise.
Yeah, yep.
And then,
right at the last
this
minute.
one, he gets with Jayla.
Yeah, after the Enterprise gets destroyed and they come down to the planet, he's the one that finds.
So they're
Jayla.
like a team. It's him, Kirk, and Spock.
By the way, I really enjoyed how this movie started with Spock trying to present the artifact to these giant monsters, which they portray as giant monsters in the beginning.
Kirk.
Kirk. And then they come rolling down the hill, and they're just these tiny,
but they're still fucking
gargoyles.
Jumping on them.
Another very cool thing that they do as a little tribute is like back in the day, like especially in that first season, whenever there would be a fight scene, for some reason William Shatner's shirt would always be ripped right here, like exposing his chest. If his shirt wasn't all the way off, but like it was always like ripped right here. And I loved how they kind of ripped his shoulder where the thing was like pulling at him. So like it was just like a cool little nod that I dug.
Nice.
Everything about this movie really paid a cool nod to the past, even more so than like JJ did. Thank you, JJ, for setting up these characters. But I'm so glad we're like into new territory.
That's another thing these movies do that Star Wars I don't think did great is they paid that tribute to the past, but not blatantly, not overdoing it. They worked it into their story, not just like in the newest Star Wars movies. You knew, they're gonna bring back Han Solo, Leia, stuff like that. But we talked about it in the last episode. It's not like they put any of them together in a fucking scene together. This one, they worked in little things here and there that helps progress the story, or it didn't distract you. You have to kind of be paying attention so that it's deeply connected, but it's its own thing.
And this is the one where Spock dies. Leonard Nimoy, right?
Yeah, it did. Unfortunately, Leonard Nimoy passed before making this.
But I loved how they fucking did it though. Like if you're Spock, and they established, well, first off, they appropriately established a connection between him having to talk to his future self, which would have normally been not allowed or anything like that, but they allowed it because Vulcan was destroyed. For him to have to process, I'm not gonna like. At first, I thought, oh, they're telling him his father died. No, it was himself from the future. Now he knows how he fucking dies.
Yeah.
Well, no, he doesn't. His destiny's not written.
No, that's true. But he's still seeing his future self die.
That's a lot, and
that's a lot to take in. Yeah.
It's one thing. It's not the same as watching a parent die and being able to do like you're experiencing yourself dying in the future.
My uncle said that when my grandfather died, and they have the same name. He's a junior. So when he saw the tombstone, it like fucked him up to see his own name on the tombstone.
That's why if I was ever planning to have kids, I would not make them a junior.
I'm a junior. That's why I hate my name, because I said the same thing to him. I was like, why the fuck do you do that?
Oh yeah, like no, it's just. But like, yeah, you're right. There's so many on so many levels, but it's a beautiful tribute. It really is.
It was done really well. The way, and I loved like Spock's internal conflict in this one was great, because they want to make Kirk vice admiral, and he recommends Spock to be leader of the Enterprise. But you find out when Spock is talking to Bones that he was going to leave Starfleet to basically try to help repopulate Vulcans and stuff like that. He couldn't tell Kirk. And then he comes across the picture that Ambassador Spock, his future self, left of him with the original crew and stuff like that. And, stays. They just feel like they played it perfectly. They didn't overdo it. They didn't undersell it. Like, it was a good, like, median run to keep the story moving and not make it that, like, a cheap ploy or anything like that.
They did. They paid another really nice homage to Anton Yelchin, because he died right before the movie came out.
I was wondering when because he got backed over in like his own driveway, right?
It's so devastating too, because he was such an amazing.
That's Chekhov, right?
Man, he was great in that role.
But just not like everything I've ever seen him in. He was so good in it.
Yeah, it sucks.
He was a great Chekhov.
He was fantastic. Oh, just terrific. But
are they going to recast him, or are they going to have him die off in the new?
I don't think you can recast him. I think you have to use a whole new character for that role.
Because Chekhov.
Might have to.
You think so? Okay.
I mean, it's a different timeline.
It is a timeline. You could kill him off. So yeah.
Or reassign him and just not have him there. I mean, it'd feel like a hole was there.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy thing to write, because you don't know. Like, I can't answer that right now. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. For me,
my best guess is if you have to address it in the next movie, if you're bringing back the same cast and everything, and you're continuing this, I think you have to. I'm just saying,
no choice.
Yeah, no,
you have to address it, and I think you have to give him some kind of heroic send off. Now, I'll mention that if he's not there, he died doing saving something. I don't think you can just write him off as he got reassigned.
Yeah. You'd have to give him something, because he was such an integral part, and he did. Like, that's the beautiful part about this cast. They did such a great job, and you could tell they got along so well too.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, I love them just as much.
Yeah,
this was one of the best casts I think I've seen in a series of movies.
Mm-hmm. No, the only top cast, in my opinion, is Next Gen.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about him having to fill in for Scotty in the last movie after Scotty quits and he's running around trying.
Oh yeah, he's just running around.
Yeah, he was doing great, which is true. He was an engineer.
Yeah.
He would have had to throw on the red shirt back in the day if he had to be pulled in on something. But
he didn't know it was sabotage, so he was like, I don't know what's going on.
He was perfect for it. He was fantastic.
He was really good.
Like, what the fuck? He's like, on my first day, shit's going down, shit's breaking.
This one, and I love all the pairings in it, because everybody was paired together. Like, I loved Ahura and Sulu. They were really
yeah.
I feel like if this was a TV show, I would love to see more away missions with just them paired.
Yeah,
That's
fair.
I feel like you could do some really.
Same thing with Spock and Bones. I like how they like hate
Spock.
like Bones says he hates Spock.
That was you know what's great. You know what's great because they spend a lot of time establishing Kirk and Spock in the first movie, and in the second movie, you don't get that Bones and Spock connection until this movie like that.
Yeah. I loved it.
But at the same time, he's already established his bond with Kirk, and this really cements them as like the three. I'm going to say threesome, and I know I'm saying it.
But Spock is
that's driving this crew. Like all three of them, like it's not like it was uncomfortable or out of the ordinary, but they
Spock
were really
Bones
able to
nuts.
really develop that relationship in like a natural way.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's a testament to Carl Urban and fucking Zachary Quinto playing those characters.
Yeah, and the USS Franklin is also the NX 326. Leonard Nimoy's birthday is 326.
Oh, nice.
So,
wow.
Take care of the man.
So
he was such a, like, in my opinion, I said, if Star Wars, if R2-D2 is the
hero,
face of the hero, or the face of Star Wars, like the one then Spock is the one you think about for
Star Trek.
That's the first one that pops up for Star Trek is Spock.
Yeah.
Then it's Kirk. So Mick, after this Enterprise, what's after this? The next one. What's the next one after this one? I'm talking about the ship itself.
So it's just the Enterprise B. So it's B, C, D.
Okay, so the next movie, this one gets blown up. All right, thank you. I already know the future.
Or show. He's all right, thank you. I already know the future.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next one.
Why can't they just have one where they go, "Oh, the ship did its well job. We're just gonna
retire.
We're gonna retire it. Here's a new one." Nah, we got to blow up somehow.
Jesus.
But it did blow up a cool way in this movie, though. That beehive shit where it was just fucking going through them like
that was dope. Oh my god,
that scenes were awesome, just ripping through the ship.
And that's what my thing was. I always said that when my biggest argument about even like Next Gen, I was like, why does everybody love old shit? I was like, why is everybody's flavor like Shakespeare and shit? Not saying that you can't love it. And like Casey and I would always get into it because Casey loves Shakespeare. He really does. And he's like, what are you saying? I'm like, yes, but you're not everyone's into it. Not like you don't walk around and everyone's only playing like Beethoven's Fifth, you know, like or Chopin or whatever, you know, who I don't know. Like, where is somebody listening to Elvis? Where is somebody listening to, even if it's somebody who's popular in that year that the show is being made? You know, like, why isn't Duran Duran, like, if you're making 1987, why isn't Duran Duran being mentioned? Like, oh yeah, I was, you know, I'm just listening to Duran Duran, you know, blah blah blah.
Okay, I think you just touched on a point that makes Star Trek the better continuous series than Star Wars. Star Wars fan base is definitely not like that at all. Star Trek has done that enough where they're introducing new ships after major calamities and shit like that, where the series continues and then you get invested in a new thing quickly enough that you're not so focused on what just got fucking destroyed.
That's a good point. With each generation, actually, with not even just each generation, but yeah, that's a good point.
I just look at the Enterprise like it's like a fucking classic car. That they are so cool looking in these fucking movies. The Enterprise is so dope, and they fucking rip it apart. I go, no, what did you do? You destroyed it.
Okay,
but then the next movie, you're like, oh, this Enterprise is awesome looking. Then they blow it up again. I'm like, fucking goddamn it.
I understand that now. I understand you, James. Trust me, I understand.
The Enterprise
is Legos has the Enterprise. I want the Enterprise now for
Legos. There's got to be an Enterprise.
Oh, I'm
Lego.
sure there is. I want it now.
Dude, no, I don't think Star Trek has any Legos.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
God.
No,
Mego, you're right.
Mego owns the toy rights to.
Bitch.
I think it is.
But you're right. They're not keeping a version of the Enterprise around. It's it's a secondary character. As awesome as it is,
You don't get too attached to it.
You're trying to connect with the crew and the actual stories.
And I just love how they had the Enterprise like it's a fucking battleship. It's a fucking explorer ship, and this thing has fucking torpedoes and laser beams launching out of it like it's a fucking.
No, but that's the fucking thing about that's the fucking thing about the Enterprise. Like they remind you in everything they do. It's an exploratory thing. Like every ship they come across is fucking more advanced than the Enterprise. Like they could blow the Enterprise out of the sky. Giant, bigger ships, more powerful ships, whatever. I don't know. It's an iconic design though because they keep rebuilding it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they found a way to keep the design, keep rebuilding it, but are able to destroy it to a point where it's meaningful in the story.
And that's probably what it is as far as like, because they changed it up just a little bit, maybe change the color a little bit, make it a little bigger, make it a little smaller, and that's just enough. So they don't change it too much where people are just like, oh man, I can't believe they fucking changed the Enterprise like that. But they do enough.
They don't do it. I guess they do
enough
like they do for the Batmobile.
I guess they do enough to where it's not stale either. So they change it just enough to where it's like it's okay. So it looks a little different and then it's like, okay, now from each generation I can differentiate each Enterprise. Well, Mick can differentiate each Enterprise. I can't. He can do it from each everything, which you know what I mean. But and I'm sure he appreciates that and loves that, being as big of a fan as he is, versus like if it's the same ship, like with Star Wars for the most part. The Millennium Falcon? That's in like everything.
The concept art for this, like I'm just thinking about it. I'm watching this like Star Trek, and I'm thinking the old episodes, like the first Star Trek with Shatner. Mm-hmm. I'm like the concept art of creating the Enterprise. They started off like the flying saucer, but they're like, no, that's not good enough. So they added the bottom. They put the fucking how they drew it out to make it cool, mm-hmm. But they kept the flying saucer part, kind of so it's like a spaceship type thing.
Yeah, I like it.
I thought it's a good design. I think it's awesome looking.
It fucking is.
It's a part. It's also part of like the shielding too.
Yeah,
like how from the saucers creates the shield, mm-hmm. and it protects the nacelles. I think.
Yeah,
because it's wide enough to do and protect both of them. So that makes sense. And the cells are what charge up and go. So,
and by the way, I feel so sorry every fucking movie.
Uh-oh.
Whoever's on the bottom of the ship, it's like the fucking the quarters where people sleep and the regular civilians. They all fucking die in every movie, man. All those civilians just die in every movie. There's a hole get blown in the ship and 18,000 people get sucked out.
Okay, that's fair. When the hole is blown in the ship,
Jesus Christ. I think I see a couple
that's not necessarily
fly out. I'm like, Jesus
not
Christ.
Not all of those people. So there is a technology that blocks that. There's shield.
Yeah, it makes an automatic like shield to block the hole.
Yeah, it just unfortunate. I don't mean to laugh, but you fuckers have just got me going tonight.
It's the way condoms work. It's like futuristic condom.
I should have signed in at 9 and just talked about Star Trek.
That's how condoms in the future work.
And you started with this last night. I wasn't even there for tonight, so you started with this shit last night.
Listen. Whenever I want a live reaction from Sturdy when he goes back to watch the Patreon,
you should make him record.
I want to record him watching it.
I could do that.
Oh God.
Oh Jesus.
I can't.
Shit, I'll do that and put that out as a fucking Patreon popcorn and Pints too. There you go. Now you got my reaction.
Yeah, double header. Oh, so funny.
Oh,
but no, I really enjoyed these fucking movies though.
Yeah, me too. I'm so happy I watched them. I went through them all. And I guess thinking about it and discussing it more, Star Trek is better overall because it improved as it went on. In Star Wars,
like I said, I lean towards. I lean towards Star Trek.
Again, if you go with just starting from the originals, Star Wars definitely declined. If you go from the originals, they definitely did not improve. But that's
I get. The thing here is with Star Wars, I guess like the fight scenes, you could say actually not really. Like I like the fucking shootouts in Star Trek, but the fight scenes with the Jedi's with the sword, the
lightsaber's my favorite shit. The lightsabers
yeah,
are awesome.
it's pretty cool. But you got to compare like Star Wars. Most of the movies, majority of the movies are like the main scene is like a chase scene.
Mm-hmm.
They always have some type of a fucking chase scene. And it's a lot of politics shoved down your throat too.
Yeah, just in other ways.
But it's still good. I still enjoy the movies though, but it is a decline. Like you said, the fucking Last Jedi and shit. Like it was just, I'm like, it was just okay, but I can see what you mean. How you're like, what the fuck are they doing?
And
but Star Trek, I'm just enjoying it. It's like it's getting better and better. Like
that's the thing. That's the thing with the Star Trek. Well, again, part of it I think is the Star Trek movies were done in actual order, like they were made in order.
Yeah.
So they legitimately got better with each version of the movies or show or whatever.
So I'm excited for the fourth one. So my wife is out of town this weekend. I usually watch them with her because she likes Star Trek. So I messaged. I was like, "You're missing the 2 episodes of Star Trek. I gotta watch today." So when she gets home, I'm going to watch them.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you're going to watch them again.
That's dope.
You're going to watch that Helen Keller movie with her, right?
No, my wife will fucking go, "Why are you watching this? Are you fucking? There's something wrong with you?"
Yes.
Then my answer to that every time I go, "You married me." So who's the one that has the problem?
Say that all you want.
Who's the one who's really
with all of us?
Yeah, who's the one that has really the problem?
See, for me, my wife would just get up and just, you know what? I'm gonna go downstairs and play my PlayStation. I'm gonna go do something else.
No, my wife, because I watch it in the front room on the couch, and she's in a recliner crocheting.
I want to go fucking start that movie right now.
I'll just get up. You should. If you're not tired and you want to stay up, watch it. I'm telling you, man.
Dude,
it's hilarious.
It's definitely something you want to watch all the way through. And oh man, I gotta get.
You won't fall asleep during it either.
I gotta get Chris on.
No way.
I got to get Chris on Sterdo Vision for one of these type of movies. For one of these type of
You're too fucking old for that.
You could make it.
I said the same thing. I forced myself. If you do what I did, you did a watch party at 10 and kept yourself up.
God damn, Sturdy. Split the difference. Put it at 11 p.m.
Yeah, change the time for Chris. He's an old man.
I can't, man.
He refuses to do it. And then, dude, you know what drives me nuts? I fucking love you, Sturdy. Before I give my ratings for Star Trek, because I'll probably get stuff. I fucking love you, Sturdy. But I was on hanging out with you since 8 p.m. And I was very tired by the time we got to 11:50.
But you made it. You got that second.
And then I was like, you know what? I'll do the show. So when we're starting the show at 12:15, my eyes almost exploded out of my head. I was like, come on. In my head, I was screaming.
You should have did what Jeff did during the watch party. He took a little 20-minute nap.
He did. He straight up went to sleep.
Like, what's funny? So after the episode, I was talking to him. Actually, no, I'll tell you guys this. Listen, people, we're wrapping this shit up. Go check out Popcorn.
Oh, we got a rate.
We got
ratings.
Just joking.
April Fools.
Yep, we're early. 2 days early.
Jesus, Sturdy.
He's ready to move on.
I am.
Okay. Oh, is it me? Sorry, Daddy.
You're the Star Trek, the Star Wars aficionado on here for you. So you have to start it off with the last episode of Star Wars versus Star Trek, and the Star Trek versus Star Trek episode part 2.
He's just fucking saying words now.
All right.
I know.
Cool rating.
Give last week's Rise of Skywalker is a fucking 2.
What was the other one?
It was Star Trek, which I give a 9. I give Into Darkness a 7. I give Star Trek Beyond a 10.
Wow.
Ooh, nice.
That's my favorite in the series.
Ooh.
Nice.
I'm going 8 Into Darkness, 7 Beyond.
How dare you? Did you not see it, Helen?
I'm going 8 Into Darkness and a 9 in Beyond.
I'm going double eights for these movies. Enjoyed them both. Liked them about the same. I had a really good time.
I could be talked
All
into
three of
double eights easily.
All three of them I gave eights to, actually. They were really good, solid. I love how the story's
really
connected.
I like Beyond a little bit better. That's why I bumped it up to a 9. I almost kept it as an 8, the other one, but I was like, you know what? No, it's a little bit better.
This three-P franchise further proves my theory that every third movie in a franchise is a fucking away mission.
I wanted to say this too about this franchise right here. I'm watching it because I watched these two movies back to back, and I'm just like, I would love to see this as a series with this same fucking cast. Like it's that fucking good to where I wouldn't mind seeing. I don't know how many episodes are in a season and all that shit, but you know what I mean.
Oh, old school? You're talking about like 25, like.
Well, even with the newer series, what is it, like 10, 12 episodes?
You're not going to get a TV series with this cast.
I know you're not going to, but I'm just saying it would be a dope series with this cast. That's how good these movies were. That would be cool to see them in a series. I know it's not going to happen, but I think you get that with all these Star Trek movies, though. You get that feel with all these Star Trek movies, which is awesome. Star Wars, step your game up. You guys are. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. And I blame
my wife being a jerk.
Wow. I heard her gasp. She did not see that coming, just like Helen Keller. With anything.
Or hear it.
Well, she heard it. Helen Keller didn't hear it, though.
No, she did not.
Oh, Helen Keller can't hear or see.
Jesus Christ.
James was just stating a fact.
How did I get roped into this? Oh, because of yesterday. Never
you
mind.
You started it. This all comes from you.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
God. Sturdy, if you're only going to do watch parties on Restream, I feel like you should record them and put them up on Patreon.
We'll talk.
I don't know, though. You got to make sure everybody's cool with that.
I could solve the issue about the Certivision for Chris.
I think they would.
You could do a pre-record for Chris, and then you can post that at midnight.
That's fair. Oh no, the movie we played at what, like 10?
Yeah,
we didn't even start that earlier. Are we still live? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. This is why I'm trying to get it
like we're off.
You guys don't listen. Go check out Popcorn and Pints, people. You're here now. Just listen. Check us out on YouTube because, yes, show us love on YouTube. Check out the Scene Snobs everywhere. Check out Horror everywhere.
Pints Patreon.
Yes, the Patreon. Go over there.
What the fuck was that?
Patreon. Popcorn and Pints Patreon.
I just heard somebody say something.
Horror Research 30. The Z Network.
You're really going to want to hear the last Patreon we just recorded.
I say
you're really going to want to hear it, I guess. I didn't hear it yet, guys, but I'm going to check it out. And with that said, thanks for popping by. Peace.
Peace out.
Later.
Live long and prosper.
All right.
Yeah, word.
Before we go.